The movie kicks off in Vietnam during the American War in 1968. We see a group of U.S. soldiers out in the jungle, heavy rain pouring down, trying to reach command through the radio, but no luck. Suddenly, some strange creature comes out of the woods and starts attacking them, taking them out one by one until no one's left. 3 days later, another squad, called the Vulture Unit, sneaks into a Vietnamese base. They get into a brutal firefight, bullets flying everywhere. After a long battle, they finally manage to take over the place and free the captured American soldiers. They all board a chopper to head back, but right before taking off, the team's leader gets new orders from Colonel Watts, another mission. The team's pissed, because they haven't even had a chance to rest from the last one. Still, the team has no choice but to head to the military base. There, Colonel Watts briefs them about a new mission. He tells them another squad went missing in a valley 3 days ago, and all contact with them was lost. Their job now is to go find that squad and bring them back, no matter what danger they might face. Watts doesn't share any real details about what the missing team was actually doing. He just says it's classified. The guys try to push for more info, but he shuts them down and orders them to get ready and move out, no questions asked. That night, a chopper takes them deep into the jungle, the same place where the last team disappeared. Once they land, they spot some massive footprints on the ground, way bigger than an elephant's. Nobody has a clue what kind of giant creature could have made them, so they decide to follow the tracks, hoping they'll lead them to the lost squad. As the team moves through the jungle, they start hearing weird noises all around them. They move carefully, trying not to make a sound. Out of nowhere, something grabs their leader, Baker, by the leg and drags him into the dark. Baker fires his gun like crazy until the creature lets go and disappears into the trees. His squad rushes over to help, totally confused. No one saw what grabbed him, and they have no idea what the hell it was. Realizing the area is way too dangerous, they decide to move out fast and find a safer spot. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the jungle, a group of Russian soldiers is making their way through the same area. The last guy in their line suddenly gets attacked by a massive dinosaur that rips his head clean off. When the others notice he's gone, they go looking for him, and when they find his body, they think the Americans did it. So they swear they're going to get revenge. Back with the American squad, they reach a cave and decide to check it out. They move carefully inside, barely seeing anything in the dark. But then, a bunch of dinosaurs show up. Turns out, the cave's actually their nest. The soldiers open fire right away while the dinos charge at them, and they're forced to pull back. During the chaos, Sergeant Baker and the soldier Leon take another exit and end up separated from the rest of the team. They keep moving through the jungle, still confused about those strange creatures that attacked them inside the cave. After a while, they stumble upon a massive dinosaur sleeping nearby. They stay dead quiet so they don't wake it up, but a few small dinos pop out and start making noises. The big one wakes up instantly. Baker and Leon take off running like hell while the dinosaur chases them. They shoot at it, but the thing doesn't even flinch. They keep running all night until morning, finally reaching the edge of a cliff with a river below. Just as the dinosaur shows up behind them, they have no choice. They jump straight off the cliff into the water. After the jump, Baker makes it to the shore and sees Leon's knocked out cold. He drags him out of the water, and suddenly, a woman shows up and helps him pull Leon to safety. Once Leon wakes up, the woman introduces herself. Her name's Sophia. She's Russian. She tells them to come with her to the shelter she's been living in before that dinosaur shows up again. Baker agrees, and she leads them to the bunker. Once inside, she shuts the gate tight and says they'll be safe there. Sophia sits down, pulls out a syringe, and injects herself with some kind of painkiller. That gets Baker curious, so he asks why she's even in Vietnam. Sophia explains that the shelter used to be a secret Russian facility, but everyone there died. She's the only one left. Baker doesn't really buy it, though. He feels like she's hiding something. He grabs his radio and contacts Colonel Watts, telling him what happened, that they've run into actual dinosaurs. Baker gets pissed, realizing the colonel knew something and still sent them in blind. He demands Watts send choppers to get them out, saying he'll find his missing squad first and then call in their location for pickup. Watts tries to give him more orders, but Baker's done listening. He cuts the line. Baker decides they need to move out, and he tells Sophia to guide them so they can find the rest of his team. Meanwhile, the remaining soldiers are down in the valley, moving carefully, until suddenly they come under fire from Russian troops. They dive for cover and start shooting back. The sound of gunfire echoes through the jungle, and out of nowhere, flying dinosaurs swoop down from above. The Russians panic and start firing at them, but that only makes it worse.
The creatures dive right in and start tearing them apart. The American squad takes advantage of the chaos, moving fast toward the jungle to escape. But one of them gets hit in the leg, so they stop for a bit to rest and patch him up. That's when Baker, Sophia, and Leon show up. They followed the sound of gunfire and finally found the team. Baker tells them he already called in for evac choppers to come get them. Before they can say more, they hear strange noises nearby, the sound of small dinosaurs moving fast through the trees. The soldiers start shooting, but one of the little creatures grabs Logan by the leg and drags him away into the dark. The rest of the team rushes after him, trying to save him. The scene shows the dinosaur tearing Logan apart in a brutal way. Logan tries to fight back, stabbing the creature in the head with his knife. Right then, the rest of the squad shows up and opens fire, forcing the dinosaur to run off into the jungle. But Logan's badly hurt, bleeding out and screaming in pain. So the team grabs him and rushes back to Sophia's bunker. They start treating his wounds, trying to stop the bleeding, and someone gets a painkiller ready for him. Without anyone noticing, Sophia quietly takes the syringe for herself and injects it. She's addicted to the stuff. Baker catches her acting strange, follows her, and demands to know what the hell's going on. That's when Sophia finally comes clean. She tells him the bunker was actually a secret Russian facility built to test a nuclear collider. They were working on some kind of superweapon to use against America. But something went wrong. One of their experiments created a mini black hole, or more like a time rift, and that opened a bridge between the past and the present. Through that rift, dinosaurs from another era crossed over into this world. Sophia goes on, saying not all the Russian scientists died. Some survived under the command of a general named Borden. When the dinosaurs attacked the facility, a lot of them were killed, but Borden led the survivors to another site where they started rebuilding the collider from scratch.
At that moment, the dinosaurs were trying to break through the shelter's gate and get inside. Sophia told them there was another exit and that they could escape using an emergency boat down the river. But Baker hesitated because Logan was badly injured and couldn't move. That's when Logan decided to sacrifice himself. He told them to leave him behind and run. They had no choice but to say goodbye, feeling heartbroken. The dinosaurs burst into the place, and Logan activated a grenade, blowing himself up along with them, while the rest of the team escaped through the other side. A few hours later, they were moving down the river in a small boat. Baker talked to his soldiers, saying they never wanted things to turn out this way, or to lose Logan. But what's done is done. Now they had to finish the mission the previous squad started, to find the facility with the nuclear collider and destroy it before it puts the whole world in danger. The soldiers argued that it wasn't their job, but Baker told them firmly that their real duty was to protect the world from a threat like this. And in the end, he convinced them to keep going. The boat kept moving down the river until they reached the other side of the valley. From there, they started heading toward the facility. By nightfall, they finally arrived. Baker gave his team the plan, and they began sneaking in quietly, taking out the guards one by one as they moved deeper inside. Meanwhile, General Borden was inside with his men. They showed him a small dinosaur they'd killed after it snuck into the facility, but they had no idea what kind of mistake they'd just made, because the baby's mother suddenly appeared, furious after seeing her dead child. The soldiers panicked and started running. But then the father dinosaur showed up too. Together, they tore through the troops and smashed everything around them. Borden ran straight to the nuclear collider room and ordered his men to power it up, planning to use it as a weapon. Right then, Baker and his squad stormed in with their guns raised, yelling for everyone to freeze. Sophia turned to Baker and told him she'd try to shut the collider down. It had already started running. Baker ordered his men to plant explosives around the collider and get ready to blow it up once Sophia shut it down. Right then, General Borden showed up, unable to believe that after all the sacrifices and hard work, they were about to destroy his dream. He yelled that he wouldn't let them do it, but the soldiers didn't hesitate and opened fire. Sophia walked up to him, furious, pointing her gun at his face. Borden tried to provoke her, daring her to pull the trigger, but she held herself back. She decided not to kill him, she'd let the explosion do it instead. She rushed back to the control panel and worked frantically to stop the collider, and finally she did it. The whole facility went dark as the power shut down. But just then, they saw a swarm of small dinosaurs outside, dozens of them flooding into the hallways, charging right toward them. The soldiers threw smoke grenades and started shooting while falling back toward the other exit. Meanwhile, Burden tried one last time to restart the collider, but before he could touch anything, a massive dinosaur appeared beside him and took him out instantly.
At that point, the squad was moving through the collider tunnel, while the dinosaurs were chasing them like crazy. One of the soldiers got attacked, and they couldn't save him, so they had to leave him behind. That's when Baker decided to sacrifice himself. He started leading the dinosaurs deeper into the tunnel to give Sophia and the other soldier a chance to escape. Meanwhile, the U.S. Army jets finally arrived. They spotted Sophia and the soldier running toward them with a whole bunch of dinosaurs right on their tail, so the pilots opened fire like hell. Back in the tunnel, Baker kept running and throwing grenades behind him. One dinosaur jumped on him, and he managed to stab it with his knife, but he couldn't get away before the explosion. In his last moments, he felt calm and proud of what he did. And then the whole collider went up in a massive blast. The jets flew away fast, and on the way, Colonel Watts started yelling at them for disobeying orders and destroying the collider. But Sophia told him they had no other choice. It had to be done. Then they suddenly saw something terrifying. Some of the dinosaurs had survived. They were leaving the valley, migrating somewhere else. That's when they realized the danger wasn't over. Those creatures would soon threaten wherever they go. And that's how the movie ends.
If you liked the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel.